Hey, welcome to The Creator's Cut, a new series where we're going to walk through some of the video creations we've made through a combination of our own human ingenuity and creative thinking, along with some of the AI tools and other great pieces of software that are out there. What we're going to do is talk through how we came up with the concepts, some of the background around shots that we might have made, shot choices, sound design, and just anything else that's pretty interesting about the way that we came together and created these particular pieces. Now, if you haven't watched Create Official Imaginations before and you like this content, then please go ahead and subscribe and make sure you catch future episodes of this particular series. Now, today we're going to look at a piece that we call The Giants I See, and it was created from a prompt that was part of the Runway Daily Challenge. Now, if you don't know about the Runway Daily Challenge, jump onto their Discord server, which is the address below, and you'll see that every single day the mods there post a prompt, and the community's challenge is to create a video of any type. You can interpret it in any way you like, but it has to relate to that particular prompt. So the prompt that created this video was from a few days ago, and the prompt was simply giant. And so I'll talk a little bit about how we came up with the concept and then how we created the video itself. But before we do any of that, let's actually watch the video and see what you think. So here we go. I'll play it for you right now. Alrighty, there you go. So let me just rewind that back to the start and stop it there. Cool. Okay, so that was our little concept. 30 seconds, cinematic style, as you can see, and perhaps not a great deal to do with giants in the way that you might have thought. And of course, when we look at these prompts that are put down by the Runway team every day, we do like to think about how we can interpret them in a different way or a broad way or something that is a little bit surprising. The word giant, of course, immediately evoked images of big monsters or giant human beings, or one of my favorite Roald Dahl books, the BFG, the Big Friendly Giant. That's kind of what came to mind initially. But we love drilling into it a little bit more and trying to think outside the box and be a little bit more creative. And so the concept we started to think of was that giant, the term giant, something that looks big, is kind of very much related to your perspective. And when we started to think about that, we started to think about a kid, a small child, and how to them, from their perspective, everything or everyone is giant. And that's really kind of the foundations for this particular piece and where we got that inspiration from. So let's just walk through the piece segment by segment, and I'll talk a little bit about the shots and the design and kind of how we thought about it. Let's just start here. I'll shut up for a second and let's just play it again. So that very first opening shot, this sort of establishing shot, funnily enough, was the very last shot that we created in the sequence. We had created the whole video, but it just felt like something was missing at the beginning here, where we wanted to put you in sort of random busy city somewhere in the world. We also wanted this shot that was kind of from high above and almost a juxtaposition, if you like, of the fact that everybody at this point looks quite small. And so we wanted to sort of highlight the fact that everything looks small at the minute, and then suddenly we're going to go into this world where we are a small person, where everything looks giant. And so if I keep going, that's essentially what our first shot is. We introduce you to our character, our little boy, and we just wanted this shot of him where he was looking up at the giants in his world. He looks a little bit bewildered. We see essentially people ignoring him, walking around him, walking past him, no one really acknowledging him, and him simply looking up and wondering what this is all about. Again, we're quite deliberate in this shot in that we just wanted to have that kind of a shot of people's torsos, their mid-level, because that's kind of all this kid can see. We're kind of looking at it from his point of view. Their faces are so far away that we can't see those yet without really looking up and stretching. So this shot, when we created this in Runway, was probably a 10-second clip. Might have been a 5-second one, I can't remember. But in any case, we only used a couple of seconds of that clip. And these particular, facials and the way he was looking around were the best parts of that. We then kind of wanted to have a bit of more of a shot that was a little bit more of a wide angle. And again, this was probably a 10-second clip, of which 5 or 6 seconds kind of showed people walking in front of the boy and him almost getting lost in the frame like he is here. But in fact, this is really my favorite shot of the whole sequence. I love the fact that we hardly see him. We see, again, just him peeking through as people walk past. And I really quite love that. It really gives us that sense that this poor little boy is standing somewhere in the distance and people have really just walked around him and walked past him, and he's just standing there motionless, trying to figure it all out. So that's really my favorite shot of this entire sequence. What we wanted to do next was really have that extreme close-up now of our character. And again, we just wanted him to look bewildered. So here he is kind of looking around, this innocence on his face, these eyes that are just kind of looking up. Again, it's probably my second favorite shot, is just that one. He's looking around and he's looking up. We then wanted to portray actually looking from his perspective. Like, what does it look like to look up at these people? And so we have this volley of kind of 3 quick shots now where we're looking up at an extremely low angle. We still don't quite capture their faces. We were quite deliberate in those 3 shots where we didn't want to quite capture the faces because we wanted to give that feeling that these are giants. They're so far away that we can't even really make out their faces. And so we have those 3 quick shots. And this one being the second, I think. We have the woman who walks nice and close to us. That's our 3rd shot. And the first one's further back here somewhere. There we go, which is people walking away from us. So again, really that sense of looking at it from his perspective. And then we see, again, this kind of close-up shot of him where people are passing close to the camera and he just appears still walking around in bewilderment. We then have another person walk past the camera, which we thought was a great opportunity to cut away from this shot and into the next shot. And in this shot, we really just wanted to close it out with the fact that he's kind of wandering around, joined the crowd. He's still in awe of these giants, looking up at them, trying to figure out what it's all about. But in some way, he is now feeling less vulnerable. He's kind of just figured out that, oh, well, you know what? Nobody's hurting me. Everybody just seems to be ignoring me. I'm just going to join them. If you can't beat them, join them. So he's just wandering around, head up in the air, trying to figure things out. So the last thing I wanted to touch on was the sound design, because sound design is so important. It can really make or break the kind of emotional depth of your video. And so what we made a deliberate choice of here, if I just play the clip, you'll hear this sound, lots of sound, music sparks up. And in every shot where we're close to the boy, close to our main character, or looking from his perspective, you'll notice that we cut out any of the background sound and just stick with the music. No music, sorry, no background sound, I should say. No background sound, just this with the very end. So again, if we just go from the top here, background sound, and we slowly fade away. Just hear background sound again. And the reason that we did that is because in reality, of course, if we were him and we're down low and people are passing us, then it would be very noisy. There'd be lots of footsteps and we'd hear all those noises. But we wanted to highlight the isolation that he feels amongst the giants. And so that's why we made those deliberate cuts and just kept the kind of nice, haunting, emotional background music when we were looking at our character up close or looking from his perspective. We just wanted to drop that background sound and make him even more isolated from the environment he was in. Again, he was looking around at the giants. He could hardly see them. And so that was our particular sound design choice on this piece anyway. Well, That's about it. I hope that gives you some insight into how we went about putting this piece together. Hope you found this interesting. Again, if you want to see more of these, make sure you subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you soon.